What is going on, you guys? Rebel Gaming back with another video, and we're on my summer car, as you guys can see. So the last video we got the suspension on our car, tires and all that. Today we're gonna fill this empty space. We're gonna put the engine in. So let's get this going. Let's get all these out of our way, and we'll open this up. Now I'm gonna move this up there, and I'm gonna move this up here, and this, oops, and oh, come on, and this up here as well, and we're gonna start the engine. So we're gonna grab our engine block first things first, and we're gonna throw it on the table. Not like that, more like that. Fucking A. Screw it. Like that. Now we want to grab the crankshaft, and we're just gonna put that in. Now there are over here 3 bearings here. Take each one of those and place them in the engine in their proper location. Now each one has a proper location that they go in, but they're not wanting to go into them. So what that means is we put them in 2, that's gonna be the middle one every time. I don't know why they're not wanting to go in the damn thing. Okay, so is that one. Now 1 is gonna be on either side, one of the 2 sides here. It's never exactly known which one. At least I haven't been able to figure out a way to tell you guys which one. Actually, I believe this one goes over here by looking at it, and it does. So now you have to make sure that you grab it in a certain way so that it'll go on nice and smooth. And this one does not want to do that for us. Come on, come on. There you go. Now, we need to figure out what size these are. We're going to start with a 10. It's just a nice little starting point. So it's not a 10. Let's go with a 9. Alright, so these are all 9s. So you're just going to tighten those down. Alright, so that should be good there. Now, we want to take the engine and flip it over. I flip it all the way over. And we want to throw in pistons. Now the pistons, there's 4 of them. There's a 4-cylinder vehicle. And it's just 1 per cylinder. Very simple like that. Now they're going to go in order, 1 to 4. Next to each other. There's nothing difficult about this. Bam. And bam. Now the one thing I don't have right now, I have to go to the store. And I know I'm not going to have it. It's the fan belt. But that is okay. Let's try an 8 on these. It's not an 8. Let's try a 7. Alright, so it is a 7. So we'll go ahead and tighten all those down. So make sure you go ahead and tighten down all 8 completely down all the way as far as they'll go. Now you can mess with the carb and the rockers and the engine for performance. I do not believe you need to mess with the rockers for the engine to start. We'll see once we get going here. We'll get the engine running and we'll see what all you actually need to do. So let's go and put that there. Now on this we need to throw, trying to see what side I need to grab it from, the camshaft. So the camshaft has to go in just like that, at which point we're gonna throw the camshaft bearing on. Bam. Camshaft bearing is on. Now we need to that is not what I want. This, but it goes on the other side of the engine. So after that, we need to get the timing chain. Timing chain's gonna go on. And then our timing cover. So the timing cover has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts in it that need to be put in. I'm gonna put them at about a 10, maybe. Nope. Let's try a little bit smaller, a 9. We will end up killing ourselves here, and that's okay. It'll save it, and then we'll come back and continue working on our engine. It's easier that way, while building the engine to just let yourself die and then respawn. So we're gonna get an 11. They can't be that big. 13, maybe. There's no damn way these things are that big. So what we're gonna do, since we're working here, we're gonna put this on the ground next to us. So it's not that one. Alright, so right here, it is literally a 6. So take your 6, put in the 6 bolts. So we're gonna go and tighten those down, and we're good. So now what I like to do is I'm gonna spin this engine around. Oof! Don't fall off the table. That would suck. But we're just gonna spin the engine around. We're gonna put this on right there. Now in front here goes the flywheel. So this is all like the gears and that to this engine. This is gonna run into the clutch and everything of that nature, which is gonna run to the transmission. Once we find what size this is, we'll be alright. start low, I guess. Because I'm just not finding it for some reason. Let's try 7. Alright, so these are 7s. Again, there's going to be 6 of these bolts. In an actual vehicle, you want to go into a star pattern. And there's a certain torque depending on the vehicle. It's not really needed here, but because it's not going to mess with anything if you don't go in that certain star pattern. So now we're going to come down here. Now down here we have a few things. We have a clutch disc, crankshaft pulley, which it don't fucking matter. I'm going to put all these together. Now what that's going to do is these are one piece. So these all go together. And they don't go here. They go. If I can get to my block. I'm going to put that on the table. These go. The engine's on the floor. That's awesome. Oh, you bitch. If I would quit knocking the engine on the ground, we would be okay. And my engine would probably be in much better shape too, might I add. Right there. Now, with this, we have some more bolts. We have 6 bolts, in fact. Let's try an 8. All 6 need to be tightened down to torque, and thankfully, the game torques everything for us so that we don't get the wrong torque. So they help us out in that aspect, but it's gonna be a 6, I think. Yep, it's gonna be a 6. So it's gonna tighten all these down. And we are getting ready to throw on the head, which is nice. There's some stuff we're not gonna throw on until we get it up there. So we want to add this first, just a head gasket, and it's just gonna go on top of the engine. And then we are going to add the cylinder head. Now the cylinder head, again, it has bolts. It has 10 all the way down that you have to tighten up. So since we're back up on the table here, I'm gonna go right here with it. Alright, so these are gonna be a 7. And once again, you're just gonna tighten them down. Oh, we fell over dead. So once we come back, we will continue. Alright, so we just spawned back from the dead. We'll run around the house real quick. And we'll be good to go right here. So we will come back in. F. Now I do believe we had what, like an 8? I think. No. 7. So we're gonna finish tightening up these bolts here. Just wanna make sure they're all tight. And at this point our engine is halfway done. Well, maybe not halfway. Maybe a little bit under. But it is definitely going. It's definitely starting to look like an engine. Alright, so that's on. Next, we want to add the rocker shaft. Now on the rocker shaft, there is, again, there's 5 bolts on the top. We're going to start with a 9. I think they're like a 10 or an 11. They're not. Let's try 12. 13. 14. Alright, how big are these damn bolts? Oh, they are 8. So I'm gonna take the 8, tighten all these down. Now I'm not gonna mess with any of these screws at the moment. Right here, these screws, one on each of the rockers, you can move with the screwdriver, but we're gonna see how it runs first without messing with those. And we're gonna do that before we mess with those. So just a personal preference that I do. So it's not something you have to do, it's just how I do it. So that's gonna be it for up there. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna throw on my rocker cover. Now the rocker cover has 6 bolts. I believe they're a little bit smaller. They're gonna be more like a 6 or smaller or bigger. They're 7s. Right? Yep, they're 7s. So we're gonna tighten these 6 bolts down. And that's gonna give us the basic shape of the engine. At that point, we are going to begin with the rest of it. So I'm gonna put my plugs in, my exhaust manifold, alternator, starter, all that good stuff on the engine. And I'm gonna start with the simplest, which is the spark plugs. Now the spark plugs, there's certain sockets for each one. So it's gonna throw all of them in, if it'll let us, which it should. Yep. And then we will tighten them down with the spark plug socket. So that's the easiest one. That you know what tool you're using to put them in, because it's just this handy dandy little spark plug socket. All you gonna do is tighten them down as far as they'll go. In a real car, you just do it snug. So it's going to make sure these are all in there. Good. So that is done. Now the next thing I want to add, what I'm going to do, is I'm going to spin the engine just like this. Now the next thing I'm going to add is on this side, we're going to put the alternator in. The alternator has a bolt right here. It's got this screw for tension, and it's got this here. Now we're not going to touch that screw until I get my fan belt on, which I do not have. That's something that we do have to run to the store to get, and I will be doing that before the end of this video. We'll be running to the store to get that. So the bolt on the back is gonna be a 10, and that should be the ground. Oh no, that's just for the to hold it on. Doesn't have any wires. An actual alternator will have a couple more that are gonna ground the alternator to the vehicle. So let me spin this a little bit more. There we go. And then move this closer. I'll try an 11. Alright, we're gonna start at the beginning instead of guessing. We're just gonna go through each one. Oh, right there, we were way off. It's a 7. So that's just gonna hold the bracket in. I'm gonna try not to burn my sweatshirt with the fucking cigarette. Alright, so there's that. So let's go ahead and throw this on. That's gonna go right there. That is the water pump. And again, we got 4 screws. Which are the same size. I believe it's a 6 or 7. It's a 7. So you just want to make sure all of them are in. There's 5 of them. 1 bolt, couple washers, few washers. 1 bolt, and the rest are washers actually. So you're just gonna make sure that's all tight. And then you wanna grab your pulley. Now the pulley is gonna sit right on top of it. And oh nope, they're the same size as well. And your belt's gonna sit on this as well, along with the next pulley that we are going to add. So I'm gonna make sure all these are tight. And we are going to grab the crankshaft pulley, which is going to go right on the front, which is a different size. 12? Nope. 13? No. 14? No. 15? No. What the hell? Start at the bottom. Work our way back up. 6? No. 7? No. 8. No. 9. No. 10. No. 11. It's on 11. So I was going to tighten that in. Cool. Now, most of the work will be over here. So what we're going to do, so let me throw the oil filter on, which goes right there. Distributor cap, which goes right there. And there's, if you look, a bolt right there for that. Now it's probably going to be about a 10 maybe. Let's try a 9. It's a 9. Oh no, it's not. I think it's like a 10. Maybe smaller. Maybe it's smaller. Oh yeah, it's smaller. Right there. It's going to be a 6. Just one bolt. There we go. So next, what I want to add is my header. Just because I'm adding things as I come to them to put them on, it's not really you have to do it this way. As long as some stuff you do have to put on in order, because if you don't, then you won't be able to get on. So there's a 7. So let's go make sure they're all in there tight. There's 2 there. There's 1 up top there. There might be 1 down here, but I don't think so. Yeah, I know there's some over there. I'm just trying to see. Yep, nothing right here. So the only other 2 are this one here, and then 1 up here. Now your exhaust is going to hook in right there later on in the build. So that's what that is. So next, we're going to add, not the drive gear, we're going to put our fuel pump on, which goes, is it going to go on? Come on. Where are you going? Oh, it is on that side. So I thought. So it is going to be right there with 2 little bolts in it. Now I did say the little bolts and I meant it. It's going to be some 7mm. And that's what's going to pump the gas from the gas tank to the engine, to run the engine.